from the world.
Something mysterious has been happening across Iran, a wave of poisonings in more than a dozen cities. They're happening in schools, mainly girls' schools, and so far there's no clear explanation about who's responsible or why they're occurring. The World's Shirin Jafari reports.
Since last November, videos like this have surfaced online again and again. Parents rushing to schools, desperately trying to get their daughters to medical facilities. Students look sick. Some are gasping for air. Some are lying on the ground. Sometimes ambulances are on the scene. According to Amnesty International, more than 300 suspected chemical attacks have taken place across Iran, almost all at girls' schools. This 16-year-old student describes what happened at her school in Shahin Shahr, a city in central Iran. We're not naming her for her safety. She says on April 11th, as she was leaving her math class, she noticed a strange smell. Within a few minutes, students began to feel unwell, and then there was chaos. I fell to the ground and everything went black, she says. A human rights researcher shared this testimony with me. So far, no deaths have been reported from these incidents, but thousands of students have been hospitalized with symptoms like coughing, difficulty breathing, nausea, and vomiting. Teachers have been getting sick too. Teachers don't feel safe anymore, says this teacher from Khuzestan province in western Iran. One of her relatives got really sick, she says, but the school superintendent threatened to expel her if she didn't return to class. Iranian state media has been covering the story. Iranian officials are downplaying these incidents, even accusing the students of faking illness to avoid their schoolwork. Speaking on state TV, one expert blamed expired chocolate. Others say anxiety and stress are the real cause.
When they say that the girls themselves are committing the attacks, we ask why and how.
Jasmine Ramsey is with the New York-based Center for Human Rights in Iran.
How could girls all across the country come up with these Academy Award-winning performances, heaving and throwing up outside their classes? And why? Why would they be doing such a thing?
Ramsey says the timing of the poisonings is important. Iran has been witnessing mass protests since last September. They're in response to the death in police custody of 22-year-old Mahsa Jina Amini. She was arrested for not wearing proper hijab.
These schoolgirls were prominent participants in these protests, and they have anti-state views. They want a very different Iran.
During the protests, videos circulated online showing schoolgirls taking off their hijabs and shouting anti-government slogans. Sanam Naraghi Andarilini is the founder of the International Civil Society Action Network. It works with women in 40 different countries.
It's a fear tactic. It's a tactic to convince parents maybe not to send their girls to school, to convince girls to shut up and toe the line.
But if intimidation is the goal, it doesn't seem to be working. Students have continued to go to school, and some parents have taken matters into their own hands. Last week, a group of mothers camped outside their daughter's school to stand guard. The irony of all this, says Pegah Banihashemi, is that it's happening in Iran, which is basically a police state.
They use cameras to enforce hijab laws. Why can't these cameras be used to see who is gassing Iranian schoolgirls?
Banihashemi is a student at the University of Chicago Law School.
It is really sad that a place that should be a place of safety and peace for a student has now become a place of fear and terror for them and their families.
Iran's interior ministry says it has arrested 100 suspects connected to the poisonings, but none have been formally charged. Security forces have also arrested local reporters covering the story. Human rights activists say they want international organizations, including the United Nations, to carry out an independent investigation. But until then, Iranian students are still showing up for class every day, despite the possibility of new attacks. For The World, I'm Shirin Jafari.
From